What is up, guys, and welcome to another video of Developer Habits, a YouTube channel for software engineers about growth mindset, developer lifestyle, and technical tutorials. My name is Ketmar, I'm a full stack developer from Estonia, and today I continue solving challenges from frontendmentor.io. Now, if you don't know what frontendmentor.io is, then basically it's a website where you can improve or test your frontend skills by solving challenges that actually mean building real frontend code from real design templates. And you have different kind of top challenges here, and when you have your design coded, you can give it for the community to review and receive feedback. In my first video, we did a four card features section, which was a newbie challenge. So today, I know yesterday they published a new challenge for a junior level. So this is what we're going to do today. Social media dashboard with theme switcher. I have already downloaded the challenges, but if you want to do or follow along, just go to challenges, find the social media dashboard with theme switcher and download it. I have also set up a sketch artboard for myself, so it would be easier to check the widths and colors of the template. And as always, I like to start by just going through the project, what we have and what we are actually going to build and how we are going to build it. So I have downloaded the base files that Frontend Mentor provides, and they have these style guides. What do they have here? The layout, primary colors, dark theme colors, light theme colors. Okay, primary, dark theme, light theme. Okay, and typography. Okay, so colors and typography. In designs, they had different variations of the design files, which I have already also brought to my sketch artboards. So I have like different designs here already. And also they have different images, fav icon. Okay, these are just images or icons that we are using here, like the social media ones. How we are going to build it. So this template has two themes, light and dark. And now we have to think about how we are going to like structure it and how we are going to style it. Regarding structuring, like from my point of view, there isn't anything that complex. We just have three main sections. So the first one will be header. Let me just draw it out so it's easier to follow. So the first one will be header. Then we have the top container for the 4 cards, and then we have the overview. And this by itself can, yeah, we also have the overview text here. So let's see, maybe we create like overview header inside the overview section, but I guess that would make sense. And then we have like one separate section inside the overview section. And I believe we can make use of display grid because that's how those cards are in here. They follow along a grid. Let's see. And in mobile, they are just stacked after each other. So yes, I believe we can make use of display grid here. And it seems like the mobile designs for the cards are exactly the same. So, and yes, we also have different themes, but this is just about changing the colors. We also have this toggle button here, which I would usually go with JavaScript solution, but for the sake of the challenge, let's do it a CSS only solution, where I believe we have to use a checkbox. But let's see. So the first thing we're going to do is, or the first thing I'm going to do is just build a HTML structure with one card in each container. Actually, I'm going to approach it a bit differently. I'm going to build and style the header part. Then I'm going to build and style the upper card section. Then I'm going to build and style all those overview cards and overview card section. So let's get started. So firstly, we have to, we also need a container for, we also need a container because we want to center the content. And the container width is 1110 pixels. So let's do that. Okay, we have some texts here. What I'm gonna do is include a style sheet. So let's link, and I'm gonna also create this style sheet, style.css. So firstly, we need to create a container that would center the content. And I'm going to call it class container. Some random content inside. And inside container, the first thing we're going to have is header. I'm going to have it with class header. And inside header, we can see there are there's content on the left, there's content on the right side. So we're going to have two parts. To class header left. And header right. Okay. On the left side, we have social media dashboard, total followers. And on the right side, we have the toggle button. So we need a HTML checkbox button. And this will be up just an input value. Input type checkbox. And input type checkbox, but it probably also need, we also need a label. Label for yep, We also need a name for the checkbox. Name dark mode and label for dark mode. Now we may change the structure later, but at the moment we just have something. Okay, this is the header structure. Now let's style it. But firstly, let's also open the page. So, social media. Whoa, that looks ugly, but we have our dark mode toggle button. So, firstly, let's style the container. I'm just gonna open my editor in two columns so it's easier to see what I have to do regarding HTML and CSS. Well, body needs some styles, right? And the background color. Okay, I'm gonna dark theme to me will be the default state because I just like dark themes more. And the background color will be very, I guess it's very dark blue. Yeah, it also mentions here backgrounds. So this will be our background color. We also need to include the font, so it will be Interfont from Google Fonts. Let's download that one. So we get all the global styles ready. And we need 400 and 700s. 400 and 700s. And we're gonna embed it from Google. So we don't have to do any hosting. And now we should have the font, correct font. So if you look closely, it's better visible from the light version. There's also this box there in the background. So we can actually add that one also. And there are many different ways you can solve that, but I'm just gonna use a separate element inside container. Actually, I'm gonna, yeah, we'll get to that. First, let's create the container. It must have a width auto and max width of 1110 pixels because that's the maximum width it can have. We also want to have it horizontally centered. So we need margin auto for the horizontal paddings. And we should, yeah, the container should work. Yay, container works. I'm gonna add some reset styles, HTML, because browser adds margin 0, padding 0. Browser adds some of its own styles, so I'm gonna reset it. Okay. And now I'm also going to create this box. And box has a width of, okay, the maximum width. Yeah, I thought I'm gonna create it as a pseudo element of container, but actually I'm just gonna create a separate element for that. So it's gonna be called background box. Simple. it's gonna have a width of 1440 pixels. 1440 pixels. It's gonna be position absolute because I'm going to set it to back. It's gonna have its setting. No, actually, I'm gonna set set the index of -1. Background color will be taken from the style guides. For the bottom radius, now we need some values here because it has some kind of border bottom. I'm gonna check it using Sketch. It's so light I can't see it very well, but I will try to come up with something. Okay, I'm gonna have it in 15. It's not that important at the moment. And we're gonna have to center it. I guess it also needs height. It's 245 pixels. 245 pixels. Great. Let's see if it actually works. Oh, and top 0. Table class, background box. Yep, it works. So let's change the color to the dark theme. So I just created a position absolute how elements. I'm thinking maybe can I have it like that so the width is auto, but I don't think it works. Yeah, we can't do it like that because it's position absolute. Thinking if we can have it like so it's fluid. Oh, I pasted the wrong color, I guess, for the background. That's why it's not visible. Yeah, I'd like to have it fluid, so it becomes smaller once you make the screen smaller. So yep, so that's how it should work. Cool. Now we have the background box also ready. Now let's get back to the header. Header has header left and header right. We're gonna use display flex here inside here because now I'm gonna use justify content space between, meaning that there is evenly distributed space between header items or header children. And then I can have header left and header right. And header left will hold the text right. It will have a h1 inside and just a span element. don't actually need to add any styles here, I guess. So I'm just gonna have header. I'm gonna have header h1, which will have the font size of, I don't know, 36 maybe. Let's see. I'm gonna have it like that. Header title. So header title. Font size, let's put it to 36. And let's find the, okay, the text seems to be white. Color, I don't want, at the moment, I don't want to have any margins or paddings for the title. The styles are not applied for some reason. Why? Oh, I didn't save the HTML. Okay, that's, the title's too big. Let's make it smaller. Maybe it's 26. Okay, that seems fine at the moment. And font weight will be, how much was it? 700. So this is the title. We also have this followers count. And this text will be reused somewhere else to style it. Exactly the same style. I guess total follower style is the same as the card text. What I'm asking is if I should make it like really header specific or not. At the moment I'm gonna have it header subtext, and I can later come back to this topic. Okay, total followers. Header subtext. So header subtext, and that will be header subtext. Font size 16 pixels, and desaturated blue. Actually, I'm going to set the global font color also to desaturated blue, so we don't have to specify the color here. Okay, and it also has font weight also 700s, which actually means if all the texts, all the texts inside header have font weight 700. Okay, font size should be even smaller, I guess. Yep. And the spacing between them is 10 pixels. How much do we have? Oh, we have more or less 10 pixels. Great. Also, the header actually needs some height, and we're going to make it 100 pixels. So height is 100 pixels, and we want to align items center, so it will be vertically centered. Nice. So the header is taking shape. And now we have the start mode toggle button. Okay, that's cool. So toggle button, header right, header right, header right. Label for dark mode and checkbox. Okay, this is where I don't feel that comfortable. I haven't styled checkboxes like that for ages. Okay, let's add a class. Dark mode button. Dark mode toggle class. And now we need to apply some styles to it. Actually, I'm gonna wrap this one here with dark mode toggle, so header left. I'm gonna leave header right so it has some contextual meaning and it's easier to read. But dark mode toggle is the one. Dark mode wrapper or toggle wrapper. Yep, toggle wrapper. And then we're gonna have class toggle label and toggle input. So what's gonna happen now? Well, the toggle label should be more or less the same styles as header subtext. So I'm gonna still specify the font weight here, but here subtext and toggle label have the same styles. I'm so not used to like talking and coding at the same time, but life is life. I get used to it. Okay, and now we need to style the checkbox actually. So what's gonna happen now? What does it even look like? Let's see. So there's this 50 pixel, more or less 50 pixels. Yeah, let's make it 50 pixels. A small button with gradient, and inside you have a circle. Okay. Dot dark, no. Toggle input will be with 50 pixels and height will be how much? Height will be 25 pixels. 25 pixels. Border radius, well, it must be 50 pixels, I guess. And it has a gradient. How did you grade gradients? Now again, you can see I've been developing frontend for ages, but I don't know everything from my heart. I just sometimes you just have to copy and paste, or at least look things up. Okay, so we have linear gradient. Linear gradient 90 degrees, color percent. So degrees, color percent, color percent. Well, let's try to make use of it. Linear background, linear gradient. So it was 90 degrees, color percent. Color percent. And no comma between. Okay. And which will be followed by comma and 100%. I guess that's correct. And back, just in case the browser doesn't support the background, we can have like a fallback background color also. Background like that, like background color. Cool. That didn't do anything. I guess we have to search CSS style checkbox. So do we have to use like pseudo elements to style it? Let's see. Yep. Yep. Okay, basically we cannot style, it seems we cannot style the checkbox itself. But we have to make use of pseudo elements. Okay, wait. Well, if that's it. I mean, that's what we have to do. So let's have it as span class checkbox or toggle checkbox. No, toggle button, toggle checkbox. So now, firstly, what we have to do, we're gonna hide the actual checkbox. I'm gonna set opacity to 0. And then we're gonna have to create the button ourselves. Toggle checkbox, toggle input. So let's create it. Where is it? So toggle button will get the styles I was talking about. Why can't I see it? Again, I didn't save the HTML, I guess. Toggle button. Oh, the background doesn't work. Something's incorrect in my CSS. I'm gonna copy it and see what did I do incorrectly. Was it because of the percentage sign? They should still see it, right? Content seeds. Okay, it's because I'm really bamboozled. It doesn't have text inside, I guess that's why. Oh, okay, yeah, I should apply display block. But yeah, let's apply display block yet. Regarding the gradient, I don't understand why doesn't it work. Background linear gradient. Background linear gradient. I have the color. So degrees, color, percentage, comma, color. Maybe that's why. Please work, please work. Yes, it works. So now we can, I should make it inline block instead. Inline block. Okay. Really like display flex because it makes aligning items vertically so easy. And that's what we have to do inside the toggle also. So now what we actually have to do is when the checkbox is checked, we have to give some state. We have to give some state to the toggle button. Let's say so how can we make it so that the checkbox itself occupies space, that whenever you click on the whole button, then you actually click on the checkbox. Can we put the checkbox inside? And now have like some kind of styles. Yep. Wait, I can style it. Okay, it just doesn't take this from here. But it seems I can't style it. Yep. So that's good. That's really good. What we can do then, it's a good one. It's a good one. I'm gonna do it like that. So we're gonna have another wrapper that wraps the toggle button and checkbox. Actually, no, I'm not gonna complicate things. I'm gonna have, this is so tricky, like so many ways to solve it. But okay, I'm gonna create a wrapper that has the checkbox and toggle button inside of them. And then we can use some CSS magic to target our toggle button based on whether the checkbox is checked or not. Toggle button wrapper. So we have toggle button wrapper. Now, did our styles change? No, our styles are still the same. And inside toggle button wrapper, we have our checkbox and toggle button. And now toggle button and toggle checkbox must have the same width. I'm gonna like place toggle checkbox over toggle button visually. Toggle checkbox, but toggle checkbox will have to be position absolute. So for that to work, we need position relative for button wrapper, because position absolute works if the parent has some kind of position specified. And I mean, position absolute must be relative to something. So toggle checkbox, position absolute with 50 pixels, height 25 pixels. I'm not going to change the opacity at the moment, but it must be right 0 and top 0. So does it appear like that? Oops, not 50%, but 50 pixels. Yep, and there were some margins. We're gonna have margin 0. Yep. Now what we can do is I'm gonna create another style for toggle button, like toggle button. Actually, no, sorry, my bad. So if toggle button is its normal state, everything is cool. But if it's checked, then toggle button, if toggle checkbox is checked, then the styles for toggle button must change. And toggle button is just the next element after toggle checkbox. And we can use that, I believe, to target the next element from toggle checkbox. And so we're going to have toggle checkbox, toggle button. hope this is how it was written. Just to test it out, let's make opacity 0.5. Yep, see, it works. But I can't uncheck it, toggle it for some reason. Okay, let's make it set index 10. Yep, now it works. So we need to have some set index also to make sure that it's on the top layer. So now we have our toggle functionality working. Now that we have our toggle button functionality working, we need to still style it according to the design. And for that, we're gonna have this small button here. Right. I'm confused by the styles. Okay. So in dark mode, I guess this is the hover. Active states. Okay, but the toggle itself is quite straightforward. If it's so, this is one state, and this is the other. Okay. Let's first do this circle part, dark mode. So we need inside toggle button, we need to have some kind of circle, I guess. Toggle button. And then actually we can have it as a pseudo element, which would make things easier, I guess. Toggle button after. And that will be what are the dimensions. So 2020 with 20, height 20, border radius will be 20 because it's a circle. Background color will be the same as for, well, the body. Background color. Okay. It also needs to have content. Okay, I can't see it. Oh, yeah, well, because it needs to have some kind of display, I guess. Yep. I can do it like margin. Actually, I'm gonna center align the content inside. Like with vertical align. Can I use margin top? Margin bottom or the position. It doesn't look visually that good. I'm gonna use just specific margin top value just to make it look nice. Or even better, we can apply padding for toggle button. With box sizing for the box. So as you can see, I'm using the browser at the moment to style things. This is something I really like to do whenever I have to style, to get the visual feedback right away. Okay, let's make height 26 pixels, then it looks better. Yep, this is so much better. So should be good. Oh, toggle checkbox. I had a mistake. Toggle checkbox needs the set index. So now we need to change the styles a bit. That when toggle checkbox is checked, so this is okay. This is logical at the moment, but this is our default state, and when it's checked, then toggle button after should change position. I can already say using SAS would make things so much easier because of nesting. But you work with what you have. Margin right auto, I guess. Nothing. Margin left. Yep, margin left. Sorry, margin left auto. So it works. And it also has to change the color of it. So toggle button wrapper, toggle button needs to have a different style. So we're gonna have toggle button change its background color. And the background will be I guess it's the text color. My theme toggle background, and the button will be the same as the background. So the bottom background color will also change. Hope it works. Ooh, it works. Yes. There's also some margin or like spacing issues here at the moment. Something's off here. There's some extra space. Position relative display inline block. Still. I'm gonna leave it as display flex. So dark mode label, toggle label. Where is toggle label? Our CSS is also getting quite big. In real life situation, I would use SAS and separate, for example, toggle into a separate file. And based on the components that I'm using, header would be a separate component and so on. Toggle label will get the margin right, like 10 pixels. Yep, now it's much easier to read. And we have the toggle. Yay! This is nice. So now what we have to do, we have the header ready. That's cool. Now what we need to do, the card section. I already forgot we had other things also. That toggle could be a really good separate video. Okay. With cards, it's a bit more straightforward. So we have the header. Now we're gonna have a section called let's call it top cards, or yeah, top. And the top will have, let's create, at the moment let's just create one card, and this card will be div class cards. And I'm gonna create one like parent cards style, and then modify, like have big card and small cards. So I'm gonna just call it card at the moment. Although they really have different styles inside also. Okay, but yeah, let's make it cards. So inside you have span social media tags, social media tag. Then you have the follower count, or I don't know, yep, plus followers. Followers number and text. Followers number and followers subtext. And then you have like the, how do you call it? indicator. I don't know how to call it, span class, that it goes up and down. Change. Yep, change. And this will be, for example, 12 today. Cool. Now we have one card with section called top cards. So top cards will be a display grid. It will have 3 template columns of 1, 2, 3, 4 fragments. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could also use like repeat here. So the cards have some spacing between. It's like, let's make 30 pixels. Create column cap will be 30 pixels. And I guess we can also have like some margin top. I don't know why did I make header 100 pixels? I really don't know. I don't have to. Header will have whatever height it does. So we need a line item center. We can do just margin top, for example, for header will be 35 pixels. Okay, I really get lost when I'm coding and recording, explaining at the same time. But I'll get used to it. And yep, that's it for header. And top cards will have margin top of 45 pixels. Great, great. Yep. So now what we can do is style one single card. Okay, it needs a similar solution that we had in this other project called for feature card section because of the borders up here. Anyways, let's take one card at a time. So the cards will have a background color, dark green, card backgrounds, card background color. It has some kind of border radius. Let's make it 8 pixels. It has some kind of padding. Let's see. It's about 25 pixels. Padding is 25 pixels. Box sizing 25 pixels. I mean box sizing border box because we don't want the padding to be added to the width, which is 100%. And height will be auto, although it's set by default, I guess. And we can actually make it like text align. Yeah, text align center. Yep. And we also have those borders. And for borders, I'm going to use again a really I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but we need to have those borders also. So I'm going to use a pseudo element for that. I'm just writing the CSS at the moment, but basically we're creating a pseudo element that will go on top of the cards, and it will have the necessary background colors. Cards before. Oh yeah, because we're using position absolute, we need to specify the position of the card also, and the height, let's make it 4, and border radius should be the same, and not just border radius, border radius, border top left radius 8 pixels, top right radius 8 pixels. Yep, now we have our, that's much better. So now we need to insert the content and style it. With followers, let's style, actually social media tag comes first, so let's style that one also. Firstly, we're gonna have social media tag, and here we're gonna need an image. Image is icon Facebook. What does it look like? Cool. Facebook icon. Cool. So we're gonna have social media tag. Social media tag. It will have font weight of 700 and the font size will be like 14 pixels, I guess. Yep, looks correct. I'm gonna make it display flex and then line items in center. But then itself doesn't want to be centered, so I'm gonna do it like I would do with block elements. No. So we have to specify text align center for social media tag. Why are you doing it to me? No. How can I get the text to center? So, okay, we need to center the content and its display flex. So actually what we can just do is justify content center. Justify content center. Because it's a flexbox. Now, and also the image should have some kind of spacing around it. Social media tag image.
social media tag image. We'll have like margin left 10 pixels. And I need to save the HTML. Oh, sorry, margin byte. Cool. Now what we have is the followers part. So followers, let's give margin top of. Actually, what we can do is just have the cards be, again, display flex, justify content center, flex direction where the column, and in that case, justify content will be space between, and align items will be center. So what's happened now? Well, yeah, if cards given some height now, let's give it a height of, let's say, 215 pixels. 215 pixels. Then we already have the content like it needs to be. But actually, now that more than I think about it, giving it the specified height, I don't like this solution. So what we will do is just give followers some margin. Margin top and margin bottom. So how much does it have to be? About 25 pixels margin. So we will give it 25 pixels from top and bottom, and out top. Inside we will have number, which will already know the font size was quite big. Font weight will definitely be 100. Color is white. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, I guess that looks nice, right? Inside we will have also the subtext, which will get the font size of 14 pixels, and letter spacing will be like 2 pixels because it's a bit spread out. I guess the font size can be even smaller, like 12 pixels. Yep, that's better. Make letter spacing even bigger. That's good. I'm pleased with it. And now then we have this change. And change will be change. So the color green, to have the green, line green. Color font weight will be 700. Font size, I guess, will be 12. And it must have some kind of element before it. So how can we do that? HTML triangle element. I don't want to have it as, like, you could do it with CSS, but I'd rather have it like a HTML Unicode element, like here, so we can insert it inside the content. I mean, something like that. Yep. Then we also have it like the other way, triangle up. No. Like so if there's like up pointing small triangle, let's try that one. I know it's not perfect. It's not exactly the same, but for the sake of simplicity and to save time, I'm gonna go with it. You could also have like CSS transformation to scale it or have a separate element or whatnot. But that will do for the sake of tutorial. Okay, so now we have one of the cards ready. Yay! And we can also create other cards. And this will be cards Facebook, right? Then we're gonna have I guess it would even make sense to have them by colors. Card blue, cards colorful, card blue, card colorful, and card red. Card red. And now what I will do, I will just change some styles based on the second class, or yeah, second class that I graded. So for example here, I can now have cards. Well, the blue is already the default one, so I'm not going to add styles to that. But for example, cards colorful. For card colorful, we can give separate background color. Okay, let's see if I can remember that. Background, linear gradient. So we want to have 90 degrees. Zero and 100%. Will it work? And also the default background. Will it work? Yes, it worked. And also we can have color red. Bright red. Background color, like that. Yay! We can also change the tags. Facebook, back on Twitter. Also, make sure to follow Frontend Mentor in Twitter and also Developer Habits. Self-promotion, Instagram. No, this is Pinterest. What is it? YouTube. And also, hit the subscribe button. This is so hard. Like I like talking at the same time. Anyway, icon Instagram, icon Twitter. That should be right. And as you can see, we have our main cards. Cool. Now, all we have to do now is create the other section below. Oh, also replace the content. This is the most tedious part. I'm gonna be lazy and I'm gonna use my awesome copying skills. One, two, three. Yep. 1, 2, 3. I know this is the part you came to the channel for, right? The copying, how to copy things. Oh, and as you can see, we also need to have red for subscribers. So change negative. So change negative, and color for negative will be different. And it will have a different arrow. Yep, now it's up. I'm quite pleased with the result at the moment, but we still have the bottom part to do. So again, we need to have a section. I'm gonna call it, so what was the top cards? Well, it would only make sense to have bottom cards. On the side we're gonna have, firstly, page 2, which will represent this overview today. And secondly, we're gonna have a div bottom cards wrapper, which will be the container for those bottom cards. And I'm gonna steal one card, for example, here. So let's create the styles, bottom cards. It needs to have some kind of margin top. Let's go to 50 pixels, margin top 50 pixels, and also margin bottom, because, well, actually no, we're gonna add some styles for the container. So container, I'm gonna remove margin top from header and add it to the container, both top and bottom. Then we can have bottom cards margin top 50 pixels. Bottom cards class bottom cards title. Bottom cards title will have font size of, well, I guess like 24 pixels. Color will be white. and margin will be 0. Cool. And then we're gonna have this bottom cards wrapper. The bottom cards wrapper. The font size is too big, I guess. Or is it? No, it's not. Then we're gonna have bottom cards wrapper, which will have some margin top. Like maybe 25 pixels, 25 pixels. It will be a grid again, because it's in a grid. And 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. Actually, it has similar top cards. Grid column cap. Is the cap the same? Yes, the cap is the same. And yeah, we can use the same styles as top cards. Just overwrite some smaller things. So top cards. I'm gonna just rename the whole wrap or the whole section to just cards, because that's what they are. I mean, the layout is the same, so we can use it. But something top cards. I broke something now. The styles aren't applied, the layout styles. Okay, cards. Cards. Yep, all good now. So, bottom cards. Bottom cards. Cards. That's nice. But there's a small thing we have to change, which I will show you when we get to that. Anyways, now we have different content for the cards. Page views, likes. It's basically 2 rows and with some content. Like content-wise, it would be nice to have 2 columns. But visual-wise, I would like to have it in rows. So, okay, I'm gonna make 2 columns still, so content-wise, it would make more sense, I guess. In mobile, it's the same. Okay, yeah, let's just make 2 columns. But how would I do that? Like top part and bottom part. Bottom cards. Sorry for playing around with it so much. Cards. I'm gonna remove that. So 2 columns. Div class card columns. Cards columns. So this let's call it modifier will specify that this card will have columns inside. And why I'm doing it in columns is because, well, I'm not thinking in just in terms of the visuals but also context. So if we, I don't know, want to do some improvements in the future, to target the content or like get contextually uh, the content that goes together, then it's much easier if they are inside the same HTML elements. So dot cards, no, dot card columns, and it will be display. Let's make it flex, and display flex, and grid would make more sense, I guess. No, justify content space between. So now whatever children have, they will be separated. Okay, and now we can start grading the content. I'm gonna remove that for a second. Now we have two columns, div class cards column, and maybe it wasn't the best idea to like unify those cards, but it's also not the worst thing to do, so I'm gonna keep it. Now we have page, we have, we can use the, I guess we can use the space between again, but just vertically. Let's try it out. Page views, span class cards. I should make it some separate typography class. I can feel that because the dark mode has the same total followers. Cards page. No, it has to be more general. The class for the text. Page views. Cards. Type text. Or card subtext. We already have subtext. Card overview type. Yep. And it will be page views. And overview value. And then we're gonna have another overview media and overview. Well, that can be change. Span class change. Let's insert something here. And also let's get our social media tag image. We need Facebook card column and change. Okay, page views 87. So card overview type cards. There's too much going on with cards at the moment. And that was usually how I do it at work is I would refactor it at the very moment, but just for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna do any refactoring any moment. I'm just gonna have the cards separately. Also, it'd be easier if we had SAS, and I'm thinking about introducing SAS in the next project or next challenge. So card overview type, um, card column, and card column must be display flex. Flex direction will be column, and justify content will be space between. In theory, it should work for us. Let's see. Yep. And we need to have some kind of spacing between those two. So maybe actually card column should be displayed grids, and we can have grids template rows, and it will be like one frame, or one fragment, and grid row cap will be 25 pixels. Please work. Yes, it works. So card overview type, we had some text already with the same style, so toggle label header subtext, they all get the same style. Card column text align will be left. Yes. Actually, card column so the first column should have text align left, and the other one should have text align right. Card column and and child 2 should be text align right. Yep. Nice. Now we only need to have the card overview value. Card overview value, and font size for it will be like huge, 30 pixels maybe. 36. Font weight will be 700. Color will be white. And am I missing anything? Oh, we should also remove the border. Card red, card color. So we still need to have the card blue, so the default cards won't have any border. Yep. Thinking if I'm missing anything. They seem a bit different. 30 pixels. Something the spacing here is so much bigger. Oh, okay. Then we remove the card row template. row cap, the template rows. Okay. Column. There are like small tweaks to be done. As you can see, I'm abusing flex at the moment. For example, you get the content of the change to bottom. I'm just gonna add display flex and the line items flex, and leave in the comments if you have better suggestion for that part. Like, for example, use some other CSS text-based properties. So card overview value must have a bit different line height because at the moment it's like I can see from here that these things aren't aligned. So what I'm gonna do is change the line height just a bit. Okay. One, no, should be better now. Yes. Card overview value. Overview value, overview value. As you can see, the CSS file is getting quite big. Again, that's a bad thing. But hey, it looks like it works. I'm quite pleased with the current results. Code-wise, it could be better now, and it would need some kind of refactoring. Also, the HTML is getting bigger. That's why I start to use comments, cards, 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 cards. How much do we have them? Okay, 2 more. Better. As you can see, we need to improve our card column, but also the card layouts or cards wrapper layouts. So what we need to do is have a create column cap, but also create row cap, and put it to 25 pixels. Yep. And yeah, it seems like we are getting things done now. We have to replace some images. This is YouTube. Then we had Twitter. Then we had Instagram. Okay, I'm not gonna deal with the content at the moment. And I'm just going to do now the mobile part, because all the other things that are left to be done visual wise are just some really simple CSS. But in mobile, all we actually need to have is some simple media query. Media max width, let's put it to 160 pixels. And what do we need to do? So let's say this is the mobile view. Well, all the grids where we have grid template columns for the cards can now just be grid template columns. Cards can just be in one row or one column. So we don't need 4 fragments, we just need 1 fragment. See, already much better. And the other thing we need to do is give some styles to the container, so it visually better to look at. But let's check the mobile view also. So social media, it has some kind of spacing, as you can see. Let's put it to 25 pixels. So I'm just gonna insert padding 25 pixels and box size and border box. Yay! And we can set margin top to 10 pixels, because padding and margin will add up. Also, regarding the dark mode button, we need to have them on separate lines. So header left and header right. What we can do now is display flex wrap, I guess. Flex wrap. Yep, will be wrap for the header. Flex wrap will be wrap. And header left will get a margin border bottom. From the dark theme, and it will also get a margin bottom, like 15 pixels, no, 10 pixels. And it will also get a padding bottom, because the border needs to have some space. This will be 15 pixels. Ta-da! And I guess we also need to make it 100%. Flex spaces is 100%. And yeah, that's it. There are still some oh no, that's not it. We also have to followers. What's going on here? Followers. Looks like I made some changes here that broke our styles. Followers. But why do they behave like that? Well, you can always have like display flex and flex wrap will be like that. Or maybe it's better just to go with that one display block. Yep. So number will get width 100% and display block, although display block or only display block will also do number. So and dark mode button should also in mobile header right toggle. Header right will have the justify content between. Header right toggle justify space between. No. Why does it not work? Because it doesn't have width 100%. Yep. So these are the styles added to toggle. As you can see, the project is getting bigger, so it'd be easier or better to introduce new tools like SAS to separate the styles, but also something to separate the index HTML into smaller pieces. But anyways, that should be it. Also, change should be in mobile. Change should have text align center. Because it's Flexbox, it actually needs justify content center. Yep, that should be it. I'm not going to do the toggling part, which will switch the theme, but it's about some simple JavaScript that when you click this button, then the style will change, and it's a really nice challenge to have, especially for the beginners. But just to keep this video shorter, I'm not going to do that. But I'm gonna have all the links to my repository and also the solution in the video description. And yeah, I thank you for watching. And hope that you learned something new. And while saying it out, I saw another thing that can be improved. But that said, I thank you for watching this video, and I truly hope you learned something new. And if you have any questions, if you need some mentoring or something, then just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Definitely check out frontendmentor.io and see you in the next video. Thank you and bye.